Welcome to Grown Folk Talking. Express yourself. The podcast will begin momentarily.
Please announce yourself.
Wait a minute. I have to do something different on this one. Sorry about that last one. Please hold for a moment. We're going to put on a more appropriate tune for this thing. All right, once again, we're back. We had a little bit of a technical glitch there, but we've got one song, one tune we're going to play, and then we're going to get the podcast started for you real soon on a Monday. So stick around with us. We'll be right with you. Once again, welcome to the podcast. Monday night, the Poverty and Prosperity Podcast for you. Xtra-Hype Connection doing it for you. Free Veterans Day recognition tonight. That's right. On the podcast, we start in about 2 minutes. Yep, this is Joffrey. No music. Time to get the music started. Once again, welcome to the podcast, my friends. It's Monday night with the Xtra-Hype Connection. From poverty to prosperity tonight, Monday. Thank you for joining us. You could have been anywhere else, but you're here with us tonight. And we definitely want to acknowledge you. We want to recognize our free Veterans Day recognition right here on the podcast. We're going to do it our way tonight. And we want to definitely have you in a good place, in a good space right here with us. So we'll lower the music down. We'll get ready to get right into the podcast. And as customary, everybody, you already know how we do. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and give some shout-outs to those local, and I do mean those local businesses that do show love to this podcast. Hunnell's Restaurant, 16 Clinton Street, right here in Newark, New Jersey. Mouth-watering cuisine, lovely atmosphere in their dining room. Some of the finest food that you will have ever tasted and ever seen. I'm telling you, you're really going to love it. Check them out. Hunnell's Restaurant, 16 Clinton Street, Newark, New Jersey. The Fruit House is at 764 Broad Street. That's right. They got a whole new look. They got a new staff. They got new things coming in, and I tell you, you got to check them out right now, right away. Don't wait. You might miss something there that is actually great. They sell out really quick because they got a lot of good stuff that you would love to use in your home as well as abroad, out and beyond with your friends. So check out the Fruit House once again at 764 Broad Street. They've got cold pressed organic juice. They've got smoothies, spices and herbs. They've got sea moss. They've got vegetables, fruits, and so many other things that you may or may not have heard of. So make sure you check them out. Once again, when you're in the downtown Newark area, you got Halsey News at 2 Prudential Drive. Monday to Friday from 9 to 5, Shahida, the proprietor, will be definitely pleased to meet and greet you. That's right, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 business hours. Come on in. Stay inside just for a minute. Say hello. Have a conversation. Say hello at Halsey News 2 Prudential Drive right here in Newark, New Jersey. And last but not least, we got AJ Caribbean Taste at 150 Halsey Street in the rear at the foot level of the Prudential Insurance Building right downtown Newark. Make sure you go in, check out all of the mouth-savory, mouth-watering aromas that you will walk right into when you walk into the restaurant. AJ Caribbean Taste, I guarantee you're going to love them. You're going to love this place. So check them out. Once again, they are at 150 Halsey Street, Newark, New Jersey. And when you go and visit these places that I just named, make sure you tell them you heard about them from this podcast. All right, all right, all right. And last but not least, we got a few websites that we think you should check out. You've got networkingforsuccess.info/grooveology-360. Once you go to that web link, click the top of the page, then drop down there. You'll see our thank you offering page just for you, just for signing up. Just for signing up, signing in with us, checking us out on our nights. That's right. And you can go there 7 days a week. Thank you page is open for you. Lots of great offers for you. Also, don't forget you got liquidmanna.com oxygen infused water. That's right. This stuff is actually great for you. Got lots of products there. And when you're ready to check out, just type in this promo code, letters GTF, numbers 2025. That's right. GTF 2025 gives you a 10% discount off your entire order. That's at liquidmanna.com. And don't forget PrologicStrategies.com. That's right. FloFokuz. That's right. Co-host right here of the podcast, as well as engineer extraordinaire, entrepreneur, and so many other things with regards to the music business as well, my friends. He's got ProLogic Strategies, developing, building, expanding, and reaching out to many, many other people as well as other places. So you might want to go over there and check them out. And I bet I would catch a smile on your faces when you do. So make sure you sign up for a free account at PrologicStrategies.com. See all of the upcoming news, the events, the places, all of the different podcasts and things that we do live, as well as things that we will be doing abroad. So you want to check us out. Don't miss us. Get involved. Stay in the loop at PrologicStrategies.com with great stuff just for you. And the last one, but definitely not least, check out our lovely Leslie Wright at BearcatBody.com. I'm telling you, she's got so many different products, so many things that you just got to see what's there to see what she brings. I mean, phenomenal things. She's got dental paste. It's not in a tube. It's in a glass jar with the screw on and off top. Wintergreen and mint flavors. I tell you, they stay with you for mostly all of the day. They're phenomenal. Of course, you know about her eye products that help to, revitalize your eyes. I tell you, you got to check her out. She's got exfoliation creams. She's got body butters. I mean, she's got so many things. You got to check her out and no other. I tell you, go to BearcatBody.com. You're going to love what you find there, my friends. Come back and let me know what you think. All right. And thank you for hanging in there with us. We've got to show love to those that actually support this podcast as well, right here on the Grown Folk Talking Express Yourself Network. Now, before we get started, I just want to give a big shout out to all of my sponsors who supported me in the Coast to Coast Movement Challenge. It was this past Saturday, and it took place at 10 a.m. at the South Mountain Reservoir, right at 9 Cherry Lane. And you know what I didn't know? I had no idea that that part of the reservation was open right there to the public. Had no idea for so many years, but it was a beautiful thing. It was a great event. It was very successful. I just want to let all my sponsors know that, yes, we did represent. All of us represented for all of our sponsors, and we did our distances. So, yay for me. It's 3.5 miles. That's right, 3.5 miles. We did it. So we had all of our sponsors in mind, and we thank you for supporting us for this fundraising event. That's right, the National Federation of the Blind. We use this event as a fundraiser for children who are afflicted and under the umbrella of vision loss, for them to have things that are essential to their development and their learning, such as vision canes, such as Braille books, as well as other Braille modalities so they can learn that particular language skill. We also provide funds to those who are still of minor age but able to get out into the workforce and have resources so that they can know how to interview, have certain skill sets so they can perform certain jobs as well. No limitations, that right? No limitations. We encourage every single one of them to be all that they can be and to go further in life. And you know what? I was actually glad to be at the fundraiser and to take part. And I had some very, very good encouragement along this whole dynamic event. I tell you, I haven't done it in a while. Haven't done it in a while, but I persevered, got through, and absolutely felt a sense of overwhelming accomplishment for all of those that we did this for and all of you who sponsored and supported me. So I want to thank you. I want to give all of you a big pat on the back. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. And we're going to do it again real soon. We'll let you know when the next one will be. And I want to shout out the CEO of this network, Force Manage, and Becky, the healthy lady. They were also in attendance at the event. And yes, they did do laps around the path. So yes, I got to give kudos and I got to give shouts out to them because they did say that they were going to join me up there, and they most certainly did. I had a chance to stop and talk with them, and it was just a great time. The weather was fine. Everything was just awesome. So thank you very much, everybody, for that. We appreciate you. And we're going to have some tallies coming up, I believe, this weekend. So they're going to let us know how we did. And once I have that information, I'll definitely come back and report back to let every one of you know how we did. All right? All right. So, as it stands now, you're in here with the Xtra-Hype Connection podcast. Tonight, Monday, is always from poverty to prosperity. And tonight, I'll tell you what I decided. You know, we have some very deep conversations, and sometimes they, get a little involved. They get a little intense. Sometimes they really make you think. But tonight, we're kind of modeling this one after Friday's Cooler Talk. Just for tonight. So tonight, we want to say, yeah, there's Dems, there's Republicans, yes. There's Congress, there's the White House, there's the courts, oh yes. And of course, right now we know there's a bunch of chaotic activity going on, and there's opposing opinions on all sides, okay? But tonight, in honor of those who have fought to defend us, to keep us from being in a divide, and for protecting and maintaining our way of life, let's just set our differences of opinion to the side tonight. And let's recognize what those who have stood in the gap for us have actually done for us. Let's take a minute to really recognize where we are now in the accomplishments of those who sacrificed so that we could be in it where we are today. Now, I would like to say this. I have some veterans that are, my family members. I have cousins, I have uncles, I have aunts, I have grandparents and parents who all served and did it without reservation, without being forced. They wanted to be of service, not so much to the nation or its political stance, but service to us, the men and women, who are their families, their friends, their significant others, their children, their colleagues, their co-workers. All of that was something that they decided that, they wanted to be of service, but they also wanted to learn what they could be beyond what they thought of themselves and what they were always used to experiencing. And I'm glad for that. I'm glad for that because I've met so many men and women that have served. And what I absolutely like, well, I should say this, what I absolutely love about what men and women have sacrificed for their people is that while they were yet giving of themselves so that we could enjoy a way of life like no other place on this planet, they did it in a sense of solidarity. Now, granted, not everybody is going to always agree or have the same opinions about things, and we know that to be true. I mean, I'm quite sure that y'all can relate to that, right? We can all relate to that. But when they came together for a common goal and the same agenda and for the same purpose, all of these differences and disputes were set aside so that they could move in a forward direction towards the goal and the prize, which was what? To defend and protect our way of life. Our way of life. Now, of course, now we'll hear some other things about other agendas and stuff, but honestly, what we're focusing on is we're focusing on tonight the aspect of solidarity. Now, if people who have served this country, who have sacrificed their time, their lives, they put their lives and their goals and ambitions to the side, and some for decades, then I even would say that I believe that we could follow their example to one another. No biases, no disputes, no arguments, no differences that keep us at odds with one another. but that we could come together and stand with each other in a sense of solidarity, especially in the times in which we live right now. See, I've learned some things about us as individual people. We all have our own ideas. We all have our own thoughts. We draw our own conclusions and we hold our own opinions. But in a sense, that does not mean that my opinion and my way of thinking has to be somebody else's way of thinking. It doesn't mean that when it comes to our individuality. That's what makes us unique. That's what helps us to actually be a collective and to fit together like puzzle pieces, because we're not all the same shape, size, or anything. We don't connect the same way to everything, but we make and form a connection that creates something that is amazing and that works the same way. But I say that we could learn from the example of those who came together. They didn't know each other from a can of paint, most of them. They were in some place that was unfamiliar to them. They all had to sleep in the same barracks. They all had to get up at the same time. They all had to do everything uniform. They all had to march and step and stride. They all had to go to the different places and do their exercises and do their tasks. They had to fulfill requests. They had to do things as a well-oiled machine working together, and they all did not even know one another. And of course, they went there with the biases that they grew up with, their own opinions, their way of thinking, their way of life, their way of doing what they believed. But when they got to where they were going to, all of that really didn't mean much of anything at that point, because they were all together. They were all told this is how things are going to go. And you will do this. And if you don't do this, then you will learn that you want to do it, because they made the sacrifice. They said yes. And they really were bound to it. They bind themselves to that accord for a greater purpose, not just for themselves as an individual, but for all as a whole. That's the main reason why they discovered that they did what they did. And they all had different functions. They all did different work. But guess what? In a sense of solidarity, when it came to doing, when it came to whatever they knew their duty and obligation was, they stood in solidarity in support of one another. And I, for one, and I believe that everyone on this line tonight also salutes and supports those men and women who gave us the example of how to work together, stand for one another, and not let our differences divide us to the point where we could be easily conquered and defeated. Now, I don't know if anybody has ever brought this topic this way. Maybe you have heard it this way, maybe you have not. But I'm quite sure that this does make sense. And when we look at it from this perspective, especially in the climate that we're in right now, with everything out of order, out of whack, seem like just all off the rails, just things just don't seem to be going well. I think we could probably get a better example from the men and women who did it in spite of what was going on around them. They still stayed together and they still marched forward and they still got the job done together. Together. Now, they did have to be brought together. They did have to be pulled together. They had to be trained together. They had to be educated together. And a lot of the things, the biases, and all of those opinions and ways of thinking had to be, let's just say, rearranged. And they all had to be recomposed to thinking the same. Not so much bias one way or the other, but what is best for our units. And begin to move as a unit, to be concerned, truly concerned about the ones to your left, the ones to your right, and to them making it, encouraging them, lifting them when they needed a shoulder of support, giving them a hand up when they just needed to get the grip to be able to also hoist themselves up with the support of someone else. We live in a very great nation. And I still say this is a very, very good time to be among the living, because there's so much opportunity, there is so much potential everywhere, and there is so much that we have in front of us that we can accomplish, that we can put our hands to, that we can build and leave legacies for our future generations, as well as for ourselves here right now. But I think that we can give some accolades tonight to the example that we have of servicemen and women. I'm quite sure that they don't like everything that they see going on. Quite sure of that. And I'm quite sure that there are things that, even though they have to do, they find ways to do it so that it is not as daunting, not as intrusive, or not say belligerent as it could be. They have found ways, and they are living examples to us as to how we can carry on and how we can make it through the day without all of the thoughts and all of the doubts that we entertain. We have living examples here. So, I want to ask, let's give some experiences, some comments, even some personal testimonies tonight as we honor our veterans, our servicemen and women, past and present, who have faithfully served for years, decades, centuries, so that we could be here today. And let's not forget their example of solidarity, especially in tumultuous times. This is what we're going through right now. So, what do you think? What do you think? Can we give some accolades to our veterans, servicemen and women, those who are presently serving us, and those who have served us in the past very well? Kept us on kill, kept us on point, kept us safe, protected, and hoisted up in one great nation. One great nation. Floor is open. Floor is open. If you would like to give some accolades, if you would like to give shout outs, if you would like to give some experiences, some testimonies, make some comments, or even a question or two or three. Floor is open. So, good evening. Good evening.
How are you?
I am well, my dear. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking.
You're sounding well, and it's good to hear you.
Oh, thank you.
So what do you have for us tonight, my dear?
Well, I wanted to definitely give a shout out to the Thursday show. Mr.
Yes.
Bill Street.
Yes.
Yes. His show. For all of his show, everyone on his show that served the country. Each and every one of them.
Yes,
And
indeed. Yes.
all they bring on their show, all the information. They are worth the information. Very intelligent, each and every one of them.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes,
Brady,
indeed.
Tommy, the other gentleman that's not coming to my mind.
Roscoe.
There you go. Yes.
MacGyver.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. That's right. That's right.
Correct.
Yes, indeed. Thursday night. That's
Yeah.
right. And that's right. I know Bill Graves is still going on. He's still getting it done. He's still out there, and he's still involved. And he doesn't slow down.
Not at all.
Yes, I wish I had as much energy as he did.
Thank goodness.
At 86 years of age. God bless
God
him.
bless him. God bless him.
He will be in the Veterans Parade tomorrow in New York in that cold. God bless him.
Yes. And you got to make a lot of room for him because he will knock you down. You got to make a lot of room for him. He'll stomp on you.
He's all right.
And Marcus, good evening. This is Francine. Marcus, I'd like to say I appreciate the statements you made about the different puzzle pieces. Being my ex-husband was United States Army. My eldest daughter is U.S. Navy vet. My third daughter is United States Army vet. And I could say, those two young ladies are my most favorite veterans. I mean, one is, she's a VA nurse now. And my grandson is stationed in San Diego, and he is United States Navy for his young self. So these are my active duty people that I have a lot of admiration and respect for. And when you said something about the puzzle pieces, Marcus, that is so true. I remember being stationed in Germany, and, you meet people from every corner of this nation, and you see people that are different shapes, sizes, creed, color, religious backgrounds. But you know what? When you put all those pieces together, it forms a masterpiece. And they are a unit, and like you said, they looking out for the person to the left and the person to the right, and people that were raised with certain biases. You know what? You wind up being best of friends. You have people that say, I didn't grow up with a black person, or I never saw snow except on TV, or I never ate that. You eat that. I never had soul food. I mean, you find out you are more similar than not, and the military was a big learning experience for me. It was a lot of years I spent, and I mean, I had to go all the way from New York City to Germany to meet my best friend. We were both from New York, but we met in Germany, and this has been 40 years plus. And these are people, I'm still affiliated with to this day. So, I mean, I have a soft spot for veterans.
But you all had to go all the way thousands of miles just to meet.
Yeah, just to meet somebody that we both live in New York, but I had to go all the way to Germany to meet her.
Y'all just couldn't meet up
a lifelong friendship. A lifelong friendship.
Yes. That's not exactly. Listen. Francine, I must say that is one of the points that I was trying to get out, and I couldn't really get it out. But what you just said about meeting people from where you are in a different part of the world, and then finding out that you're similar to each other, you got each other's back, and you form a lifelong friendship. Like no other friendship that you could have formed. And I think that is such a great opportunity that a lot of people, we may not have that opportunity, but just through your experience and sharing that with us here, that is an example of what I was just talking about, the possibilities, the probabilities, the actual methods of coming together, and the opportunity that the military gave for you to have that experience firsthand. So you actually got to be right there, like right there in Germany of all places. Oh my goodness, I've heard stories.
That was fun. Oh yeah. I mean, good food, beautiful clothes. I mean, it was cold, but I'm from New York, so I mean, you from Northeast. I mean, but it's a different kind of cold. it's cold, but but you meet people that warm your heart and soul, and you are linked with these people for life.
And let me ask you this now, being that this is the experience that you had, and like you said, you meet people, you link with them, was that like a very rich experience as to where nothing seemed to shake you guys once you knew that you all had each other and you were all connected with each other? Was that like through anything, you all were kind of like right there with each other, thinking the same thing and not being, brought down by things that you heard or things that you might have seen or somebody might have told you? Was it like you were all like kind of like thinking the same thing, like, okay, we got this, or okay, we're okay, or I got you,
you got
me?
That was it. That was it. It was more like your family, that's family. Because when you're that far away, in Germany, we always say, back in the world. So, we always call being back in the States, back in the world. So we knew we were there, and we just had each other. You really just, you had each other, and then you started knowing each other's family. They're telling their family about you. You're telling their family about them. And, I mean, for some of us, I was fortunate enough, for my best friend I met, so I knew the family. Till this day, I still visit with the family. They visit with me. I know all their kids, their cousins. They know my kids, my family. So it's an experience like no other. It really is.
And let me ask you this too, because maybe it's happened for you all, or maybe just for you as an individual. But of course, when you probably went to Germany, you had certain opinions. You had never been there before. Probably had certain biases, certain thoughts. Certain kind of ways of thinking about things. But when you got there and you got into that culture, then you met up with other people who were from this nation, and you all saw each other outside of here and were over there, and you grew together. Did all of those biases that you may have had seem to just go by the wayside to something greater?
No, because some of them were true. I mean, when you met up with American people, I mean, if you were just around American people, I was in Germany 2 different tours. So the first time I was there, I lived on their colony, so I lived with Germans.
Okay.
So you do a little research, and some things you expect when you get there, and and they would ask me some off the wall questions about Black people that I would be like, are they crazy? Are they kidding me? But they would see like, we kind of walk and talk just like you. We do all the same stuff. Maybe we speak a different language. It might look a little different, but so. But then once you on base, I mean, with other Americans, I mean, it's like you're home no matter what. Somebody from down south, with a southern accent, people from up north, people from the Midwest, you just feel at home with, because we're here on base, we're all American. So, and then especially if you're fortunate enough to meet somebody from your hometown, then you are really, really like, okay, all right, I have no problem. That's really the cherry on top of everything, to meet somebody from your hometown.
You can talk about things, you can relate things, and like they say, you're thick as thieves at that point. So ain't no separating you. But then you get to connect with other people, and it, like you said, it grows like a family. And even in times when things aren't so smooth, things aren't so calm, I would even kind of like guess that relationship or those relationships, helped you all through those times, because, hey, you fit together like puzzle pieces. You had each other, you were connected, right?
That's true.
And I would even say that, that could be a very good learning experience for those of us who may not have had that certain experience like that, but are hearing it right now for the first time, because right now, we're going through some times that ain't so fun and so, peachy keen or whatever, but we still got one another. And, our servicemen and women, what do? They stand together. I mean, they get training, but they stand together. It would be easy for them to just kind of like break apart and drift off, but no, they stay together. And like you said, you were there for 2 tours, and you hung in there too. And I guess it's noticeable, especially when you leave from a place that's foreign to here, and then you return here. That comes with you, that whole mindset, because you got to see it outside of here. All of us haven't had that experience, but you got to see it, you got to live it. But now you can come back and you can share and you can give it. And the point that I was making earlier is that if our military does that, and I know they get special training, but they choose to do that. They choose to stay on point, to stay focused, not to fall apart, not to, bellyache and complain publicly. Now, behind closed doors may be a different thing, but what we see of them when they're in formation, when they, are at attention, when they are on their job, doing their duty, we see something that looks strong, immovable, and unstoppable because they're all together. And it seems that all their differences, they put them in their back pocket. They can go pick them up later if they want to, but for what they have to do, it's stuck in their back pocket.
It's true.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But I do appreciate you sharing that experience. I mean, I've heard so much about Germany, and I don't know if this is true or not, but they say that some streams in Germany flow the opposite direction. Have you ever seen that?
What goes the opposite direction?
The water.
Say that. Water?
That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's like totally correct, but I've heard that some of those streams flow the opposite way.
Yeah, I've never seen that. I don't know if that would be the Rhine River or whatever. Yeah, I haven't seen that, but I can neither confirm nor deny.
Okay. All right. Well, I ain't gonna hold you to that. All right. But that was just something that I heard. It was, just something I was a little curious about. But yeah. But I'm glad to hear your experience. And I'm glad that you gave us all, an ear, a voice, a sound of what you have experienced. And I would just like to say, this is what it's really about, We have an example. We have examples everywhere. As a matter of fact, you were talking about, we were speaking about Mr. Graves, Mr. Bill Graves. And he is 86 years old.
Yep.
And oh my goodness. I mean, listen. The man goes. He's a ball of energy. I don't even know where he get it from, but I wish he'd give me some.
I'm telling you, I said, wow.
Can I forget? I reverse it. I tell me he 86 years young.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you. You're right.
Correct. Because that's what I tell my grandmother. She's 86 years young.
Yes.
Yes.
He definitely has so much energy. I mean, I appreciate his advocacy, and he's on the front line for these vets, and I truly appreciate him.
Yes. God bless him. But I tell you, stay out of his way because he will step on you. I'm telling you.
Oh.
Telling you, stay out of his way.
I've only been in a couple of meetings with him, and I just sit across the table. I don't get too close.
No, God bless him. No, I got a chance to sit there and shake his head. I finally got a chance to meet him for the first time, and it was just a blessing to be in his company. But when he told me that he got a chance to speak to some guy that stepped in his way, and he told me he stormed him, that was more than enough for the story. So no, no, that was it. Yes.
Wow.
Well, God bless him. God bless him. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, God bless each and every one of them on that line because they very informative, I must say. Very informative.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I mean, I'm quite sure that we all, we have people in our families, who have served, and I mean, right here on the Grown Folk Network, there's people that have served, and
right.
great people, doing great things, and advocacy. Oh, that's something that all of us we could take a page out of you know that book right there. I mean, just looking at the way things get done. You know, I'll say this. I'll really say this honestly. I have not seen someone do what Bill Graves has done for so many people in need. And here's the other thing: all of them were not all vets. Some of them just heard about him and they said, "Listen, I got to get to him. I need to talk to him." And you know what?
Right.
He always gives time. He makes some way to give time. He'll sit down and spend a few minutes, figure out what your needs are. Okay, as a matter of fact, prime example, the food pantry. The food pantry that he runs up in East Orange at the Veterans Hospital.
Right. Now, yes, I've heard a couple of people in my class that are vets, and they said Mr. Graves said, "Come on up there, bring your bags, and come on," and he's making sure you get some food.
Yes.
I said, "Oh, really?" I said, "In East Orange?" He said, "Yeah, right in East Orange." I said, "Oh, okay, well, all right." But he's on it and making sure, he could fill in the gaps, which is a good thing.
Yes. And I must say that I've been up there. Now, I can't see everybody, but I know the lines go down the hall, snake around, and come back down the other side. And all of those people get served. Every single one, all the way down to the very last person in line. Everybody gets served. So nobody gets turned away with nothing. Everybody. And and it's amazing. It's amazing how, even in this time now, of certain, like, things that we're not so secure with, like, some food insecurity, financial insecurities, other things going on. But they're making it happen. And, he has his people up there. And like you said, hey, come on up. You need something, come on up. We'll make sure you get some food. And it's all good stuff. It's all great stuff. And I know, as a matter of fact, this month they're giving out the turkeys, they're giving out the chickens, they're giving out the ham, they're giving out the roast.
Wow.
People that signed up, I think it was back in, I want to say September, the end of September.
Yeah.
You put your name down, say, what do you want? Which one do you want? You pick one, and then go back up right here. I believe it's this coming Monday. Not today, but next week Monday. Go back up there, pick up what you selected, and it's gonna be there. And probably a whole lot more. Probably a lot more. But it's phenomenal. And I say, you all gave of yourselves to serve. And then you come back and you continue to serve even more. And that's just a beautiful thing right there. And I say that, I'm proud. I'm really proud of all of our servicemen and women, all of you, every single one of you. You've done so much, and you've given so much of yourselves, and you've come back, and even in coming back, you're still serving, you're still helping people, you're still assisting, you're still holding things together. You're still giving us an example. You're encouraging us, telling us that, hey, it's okay, this can be done. You can do it. Don't count yourself out. Count yourself forward. Keep it moving. And I'm so glad. I'm really so glad that we have all of you shining stars as an example, Francine. And if you're listening, Mr. Bill Graves, yes, you too. All right, you too. All right. So I'm glad to have all of you as shining stars for us. And your example of solidarity, I know is something that if all of us just take the time to really understand what our Veterans Day is really all about, and we look at what our veterans do and what they have done together as a unit, just sticking together, getting the job done. you know, just moving forward. I think that would take us a long way, a longer way, and even further than that if we just concentrate on that. So I really do thank all of you for that. I really do. And Francine, thank you so much for coming and speaking up. And and the parade is a parade down oh man, what street is that?
Yeah, I don't even know if it's down Fifth Avenue. I don't even know where it's going to be, but I do know a couple of people that will be going with him. I mean, that I know. And he told them, dress warm. And Mr. Graves, he's going to be cold tomorrow morning. Dress warm. Okay. They can put on some long johns. It's cold out there.
Long johns, sweats, boots, gloves, scarves,
thermals, that's true.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yes,
He's going to
indeed.
have boots on the ground. I guess he had them put them out there.
Literally. Yes, indeed. So that is tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this is a great thing. This is what we're talking about here tonight, everybody. We're just giving some honor and some recognition to our vets tonight. Things that have been accomplished by them, and what they've given of themselves, and basically for others to be able to thrive and to have, and what they've done, in different places of the world, and then right back here at home once again, So, just feel free to, give your input, express. That's right, express yourself right here on tonight's podcast. As a matter of fact, my co-host, FloFokuz, where you at, brother?
Xtra-Hype.
Oh, there we go. All right. Sounding good. I just want to pass you the mic.
Well, listen, I appreciate it, and thanks so much for everyone showing up and, giving their testimony tonight, sharing their stories. I mean, I don't have much to say, not that, I don't have veterans in my life. I just don't have stories to share. Like, I was born in Hawaii. My parents were in the military. That's about as far as that goes. You know what I mean? I was born on
Mm-hmm.
a military base, so shouts to Tripler Medical Center. But
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
at the end of the day, I just, I could say enough, but as far as honoring the veterans, thanks for the old service there, thanks so much for doing your duty, and God bless America. I'll land it there.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for that. FloFokuz, thank you for giving us your input. And, of course, your parents were in the military, and, you got to experience a little bit of that early on in your life. As a matter of fact, my dad, was in the military. I remember when we used to go to the Brooklyn Navy Yard, and there was that place just impressed me so much because that place was so big and had so much stuff there, and you couldn't just walk up in there. So when we would go in there, and he would just show his ID, it didn't matter as long as you were in the branch of the military, you could walk right in. But anybody coming in just to try to get on that base and walk around, and it felt like someplace where you were exclusive if you could just walk right in. You were exclusive, you were like one of the club. You were in the family, and we got to see how things worked and how together things were. Everything worked on like I don't want to say perfect, but it worked on great timing and great plan and great function. Everybody seemed to know what they had to do, and it was like nothing really You didn't get a lot of the chaos and chaotic stuff. I'm quite sure that, I mean, there were some instances I didn't see them, but for the most part, just seeing how people lived and how they worked and what they did and, you know, their whole plan and what they were, their future goals were, and that they were planning things out, and had everything was all set up seemingly, you know?
Did you feel real comfortable, right?
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That's right. It was really a great thing to be a part of anywhere, seeing how things were, You look at them and it seemed like just to look at them, nothing ever shook them. They were composed in a way that maybe on the inside, but it wasn't showing on the outside. And they would carry themselves in a way that they were confident that they knew what the outcome was going to be. Because they was going to stand together. And they wasn't going to let nothing shake them. And as long as they had each other, they already knew that they had it. They got
Welcome to Grown Folk Talking. Express yourself. The podcast will begin momentarily.
Please announce yourself.
the feeling that you could be a part of something like that too. Not so much in the military. I say you got to join them, but just following the example that hey, they tight. They unit tight. They solidarity with one another. And I'll tell you like this, they might be in different branches, but they all seem to have each other back when necessary. Ain't nobody gonna get rolled on by somebody out here without them intervening and saying, "Nah, you ain't doing that."
It's very rare you get to see that kind of commitment that they have for each other.
That's right. That's right. And what Miles, I want to ask you: do you think that if we really understand our veterans and like we're talking about them tonight, that we could have that very same commitment to each other, just being civilians?
I think the only way we can understand what they're going through is if we've been through the same thing and why they they are.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you live there and you go back home, you see a whole different atmosphere.
Right.
Then you just left. You're like, whoa, it was much better over there than it is like where I live at.
Mm-hmm.
To put that kind of bond, that trust in each other like that, man.
That's right.
That takes a lot out of you, man.
That's the key. One of the key words you just said: putting trust in each other, trusting each other.
Yeah.
Knowing that you can depend on somebody else, but you can also look at what they're doing, and they could encourage you to do just as good as they do, and even better.
Yeah, because somebody got your back, and you got their back. Because they're not sitting around worrying about if I go over here and do this and that and that, is anybody going to look out for me? See, they already know that.
Yeah, that's right.
See, well, when we in a neighborhood like we at, we got, oh man, if I go around that corner, these guys are gonna jump me. Is anybody gonna help me? Like especially when you're arguing with people in the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we got examples. I'm convinced of that. I just think that sometimes we just need to kind of lighten up a little bit. Just take a couple of the deep breaths and just relax. You know, we all uptight. You know,
Yeah.
especially even now. You know, we all a lot of people are uptight. But I think
Because
that go ahead, go ahead.
like when I see people on the street, I say hi and I talk to them, and and then I hear smart people put smart mouth at me. What you all in my face for? Like, excuse me? I'm
Hmm.
sorry. You getting all upset because I'm saying hi to you, how you doing and all that.
Hmm.
You know, it's kind of
Hmm.
crazy, man. Especially when you all live in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah. And if here's the thing, if people who don't know each other go to their training, they boot camp training, they don't know they ain't seen each other. And
Exactly.
even Francine said there were some people that they didn't even know that they was from the same city until they got to another place. But
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
you know, all of that is like, listen, that's the example right there. Do we have to fall apart with everything that's falling apart? Or can we stand strong and stand together and hold each other up, during times when everything seemed to be shaken up?
It seemed like a lot of people move away from all that. Like they're
Right.
ashamed to be close to each other. Begin. Well, we cool and we all this and all that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
everybody out here want to drink, smoke, cuss, fight, argue, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Yeah. And I'm not sure about this. I think that this is real. I think this is true. But when you go and you see other cultures, like the military really is its own culture, to tell you the truth. It's here where we are, but it is its own culture. Just like in a foreign country, it's their own culture. But they have so many different ways of being, and doing stuff. But they all seem to be like have the same thoughts.
Mhm.
And the whole culture seems to be more together. They they
Like that big
they know.
strong, that big
Yeah.
strong, that big strong rat.
Mhm.
Now we
So
got like we at home and they over there, protecting us from all this stuff. They see more stuff than we do,
exactly.
and but they still bonding together.
Yes. Yes.
Could I, salutations. Can I add something to the conversation?
Sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Greetings, greetings. This is Edward. You got to remember, going back to the trunk of the tree, we were Hellenized and we were put into concentration camps, and then everything was stripped of us, and then we were taught their ways. So the culture that we once had no longer exists. Those countries, even just like if you look at Hindustan, India, they had to deal with colonization, but the colonizers lost, and they never fully had control of that whole country anyway. So they still maintain their culture. Proof of that is they're still on their ancient calendar. They still have knowledge and practices of their deities, and they have many. So that's one of the main things that makes it easy for them. Just like here, you got South America, North America, and Canada. Not too much known about Canada as far as the Eskimos are concerned, in my mind. Besides, they eat seals and whales. I think they eat whales too. But anyway, my point is, the Mexicans, the Latins down all throughout um, South America, so to speak. I think the main countries that have been basically Hellenized is Chile and Brazil that I know of. Ecuador and all of them places, I believe they still have their own spiritual practices besides Catholicism.
Mhm.
But here in Northgate, North America, this is where everything took place at, as far as colonization and concentration camps. So that's a big thing that we need to consider about what happened to us, even though we've been so-called free for supposedly at least 100 years. That program is still our greatest default in our minds of most of us. So that's the challenge that we have, and why we don't necessarily have a culture. Claude Anderson is the individual that I was trying to remember the other day. Claude Anderson was emphasizing on how we need to come together, put our economy together, and start buying politicians and all these individuals, just like everybody else that come here, they do. And that's why they have such a good standing. But first and foremost, just like what you brothers are speaking to, they came here and they're still governing themselves according to their culture. I don't know, there's a town in Jersey somewhere where the Hindu Indians have a town to, that their culture reigns supreme. But everywhere in America, there's quite a few places where there's a Chinatown. Yeah. And they govern themselves according that national language there is Chinese, it's not English. That's all I wanted to add to the conversation. I yield.
When my uncle came back and when he was in the service, and when we got old enough, he told us everything he went through when he was in the service. And like the stuff like he was telling us, like it really blew our minds, man. Like, whoa.
Was he in the Vietnam War, brother?
Huh?
Was he in the Vietnam War?
Yeah. Cause I be sitting home and I be thinking about how it is out here in the streets, but then when we hear about what he talk about what he went through, whoa, it was way worse than what we went through. But he survived, cause I figure, how many people can actually get through that, without losing their minds or seeing their brother next to them, blowing up, picking up dynamite, getting shot in the head and all that stuff. And y'all seeing that stuff like on a regular basis over there, and come back with a clear head.
Yeah, I've talked to some people that were veterans that went over there, and I tell you, it's beautiful what Muhammad Ali did and what he said.
Yeah.
They ain't do nothing to me. They ain't my enemy. And how I heard from some people how they had on PA systems blowing through them jungles. You black Americans, you're fighting on the wrong side. That joke is funny. I'm glad I wasn't there, man. I probably would have got shot just from laughing because, I got a sad sense of humor, bro, and that would twist me, But what I do know, what I did hear from some of the American soldiers is they got a lot of tunnels and stuff like that. I mean, guerrilla warfare reigned supreme in that country. And they were trying to make people that's like 6 feet tall get down on their hands and knees and crawl through them tunnels. They purposely send snakes, and they have short spears in the ground. So how are you supposed to carry your gun, look out for snakes, and watch out for the spears, and be prepared for your gun at the same time? Yeah, I heard some of those brothers over there, well, they were talking about how a lot of their commanding officers was from the universities and colleges, and they were trying to talk down to these brothers. It wasn't a good thing. Telling them to get their ass down in them foxholes, not foxholes, but those caves. It was horrific, man. It really was. I mean, just like they say, war is hell, is true. A lot of people heroin addicts. Go ahead, I yield.
Yeah, my uncle used to talk about when they step on them the minefields and stuff. You never know.
Yeah.
You could hit a branch, it could be a trigger to a bomb. Oh man.
But one thing that you all just brought up was like when you said that Muhammad Ali made his statement, he said it worldwide. He said, "Hey, that man ain't my enemy. He never did nothing to me." And if you take that, but let's look at today, right? We got people divided. Some are saying, "Oh well, we're with this political party." No, we with this political party, and because they took sides, they're not divided, and now they're pointing fingers at each other as if they were the ones that actually did the thing, but they really had nothing to do with it. They just took a side, and now they're at odds with somebody else that lives in their neighborhood, in their city, works in their community, shops at the grocery store that they go to, gets their hair cut and done at the barbershop and beauty salon, goes to the same park, walks or stands on the sidelines at the same parades, and goes grocery shopping for Thanksgiving, goes out for Black Friday, celebrates the holidays in December, and then goes to Times Square or other places for New Year's where they celebrate. All because they're looking at each other like they're enemies over some rhetoric that's going on with some other people. That is something. But it rings true. That person on the other side over there didn't do nothing to me, and I didn't do nothing to them. So we are at odds over what somebody else believes or what their opinions are. So they say, I'm with this political party. No, I'm with that political party. No, y'all are wrong because of it. But wait a minute. These policy people is not arguing. They're watching the people argue with each other. But they not stepping in to say, hey, listen, you all. We're going to get this all together. No need for y'all to argue. Look, y'all just hold tight. We're going to work things out. They're not saying that. But I think it'll be good if we took those examples like y'all just said. If we think to ourselves, you're not my enemy. You're not my enemy. And if we hold that thought, just that one thought, not to go out here to do a whole bunch of spectacular stuff, but if we just hold that one thought, you are not my enemy, then I think that maybe we just maybe might see a little bit of solidarity, the light of solidarity coming up. So I'm going to challenge everybody. I'm going to challenge everybody on this line tonight. This one thought from today until tomorrow, and as far as you can hold it forward.
Right.
You are not my enemy. Hold that thought in your mind. When you hear about what's going on in D.C., and all the nonsense and whatever that's going on down there, and you hear people who are your neighbors or people down your block or whatever talking about this and that, just think to yourself, if I were to come, walking by you something, you're not my enemy. You are not my enemy. We don't operate in D.C. We operate where we are. You are not my enemy.
Yeah, we was even enemy because of the color of our skin.
Mm-hmm. Right. Happens the same way. But on this observance of Veterans Day, our troops stick together with each other. They walk with each other. They have each other's back. Could you imagine if they was fighting with each other out in the middle of the public eye? Like what a spectacle that would be. But that doesn't happen because they realize they're not each other's enemy.
And look what they go through when they get home.
That's a different story. That is a different story.
That's business as usual right there. That's different.
Uh-huh. That's right. That's right.
That's what my uncle said.
That's right. So, with that being said, everybody, I'm going to do a time check real quick.
That was a beautiful statement, though, Marcus. Thank us.
Thank us. Thank us. Thank you. Thank us. Thank us for that. Yes. Francine, are you still there?
Yeah. Okay. No, you said time check. It says about 7:25.
Okay. Thank us for that. Thank you for us for that. I wanna say it's really been truly a great conversation tonight, and just to give a tribute and recognition to you and others who have been a good example of solidarity to us. And maybe as us, we can catch up and meet up to that standard that you all have set for us. And maybe, just maybe, if we all think the same thing to the person next to you, to the person across from you, to the person that you know, to the person that you're related to, whatever the case may be. I'm not saying that you got to go and hug and kiss them, but the thought, you are not my enemy. Just because somebody might be poor and they may not have a lot and they have to struggle a little bit to make it. But somebody who's in the middle class, or what used to be the middle class, we're not each other's enemy, even though we might have some things going on and fingers are being pointed saying, oh, it's because of you. And they say, no, it's because of you. No, that's not what's going on. We are not each other's enemy. I think we need to really think about that. Like, think on that. Like, no, you're not my enemy. I'm not trying to hurt you. You're not trying to hurt me. We here together. We gotta live together. We walk the same streets, ride the same roads, shop at some of the same stores.
Live on the same block.
That's right. That's right. So I'm just going to challenge everybody with that. Hold that thought in your mind. Throughout tomorrow, hey, that you're not my enemy. That person there, you're not my enemy. And see how long it can go. Maybe even past tomorrow. Maybe even to the end of the week. Maybe to the weekend. Or even longer, but hold it for as long as you can. And see how far forward you can push. And maybe, just maybe, with that thought in our heads, rather than all the other stuff that's coming out that we're hearing and holding on to, maybe if we hold on to this just for a little while, this thought, you are not my enemy, then maybe, just maybe, we can actually come together a little bit closer, like we've been talking about, and get some things going in a positive direction that's going to benefit all of us. And then maybe we can look at each other and see an accomplishment of true power that we are all holding and controlling, and then saying to the ones that are with the nonsense, y'all better straighten up and fly right. Don't make us have to come down there. So
I used to hate to hear people say that to other people. Don't make me come over down the street down there. What you come down here for?
I used to hate hearing my mother say that.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh, my father used to say, "Don't make me come in that room, y'all."
Don't make me get up.
You know, time to get quiet.
That's
quiet
right.
and cockroaches.
That's right. When they turn the lights on, you acted like you sleep, but you knew that you was up just a few minutes ago laughing and joking.
I tell a lot of these guys out here, teenagers, I said, man, when I was your age, my mother used to holler, you better be in the house before the street lights come on.
That's
I mean,
right.
the street lights come on, they be coming on in like another 5 minutes. Well, you better get home.
Hey Marcus, how about them times when she creep in your room and buzz you, and you try and act like you sleepwalking?
Yep. Said, boy, open your eyes. You know you wasn't sleeping. Have your hands in front of you like Ed Norton from The Honeymooners.
Not Ed Norton.
Lulu.
Word. Where do you think you're going? You almost said you was going to the kitchen. You said, my bathroom. You go to the bathroom the other way. I know where you was going. Yeah, man.
We was good for that. Our parents didn't know what we would talk about. They knew.
Hey, they were young ones. What's wrong with you? That's why I try and tell my grandson, boy, you can't even think of nothing in your own mind and don't even say it that I ain't thought of or tried. I might have got sported up because of what, but you ain't getting sported up. That makes me mad. That's another conversation. But I'm saying, things I used to he get away with from his own mama. I said, that ain't right.
That's right.
Tell them, boy, y'all lucky things ain't going on now when we was young.
Yeah.
I think that's another reason why there's so much gunplay. I can't remember that. He used to be a gangster. He's on a lot of podcasts as a guest. Well, a few years ago, and he said he can't blame, which is sad. He said, I don't blame these young boys for not fighting with their hands. He said that stuff hurts. Like a fair one ain't fair because it hurts. Like bullets don't kill, right? There's people in here. Yeah, but just like what Marcus is speaking to, there is a way for us to get back to love, peace, and hair grease again. But it really is going to take all of us. It really is. It's like what he was speaking about. One person's a Republican, another person's a Democrat. If you're going to support a party, but not the issues, it don't make no sense. To me, it don't make no sense. I can't vote Republican because I'm a Democrat. Yeah, okay. But yet, you catching hell no matter who's in office.
Yep. That's right. And
they say left wing, right wing, same bird.
That's right. Yeah, but if we hold just that one thought in our mind, you're not my enemy. And stand for each other, solidarity, have each other, just those thoughts, just because somebody's different or, they're from a different place and they come here, does not mean that we're against one another. If somebody's not against us, then definitely they are for us. They're not trying to cause us any harm or any problems. But the rhetoric that we hear and the messaging that we attach to our thoughts, I think could be a culprit as to what's really, causing us to divide and fracture like this. Because that's all it is, divide and conquer. Sun Tzu always talked about that. The art of war. There's many different faces and facets. And if you understand it, You can either defeat a whole army or be defeated.
My daughter calling, so I'm gonna have to say goodnight to y'all.
All right, Miles, have a good one, brother.
Yeah, y'all take care of yourselves.
All right, now.
I learned a lot more tonight.
Greetings, beautiful Grown Folk Radio.
Greetings to you. Greetings.
Thank you so much. I love the conversation. I just said, why don't we just all just stay together, be together and stay together. Let's just all live together. I love that conversation there. It's really, really live and full of potential and greatness. I love that, all right? Really.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you.
Who's
and
speaking?
Thank you for joining us.
Who was that was speaking? Could you identify yourself, please?
Certainly. This is Mahassan.
I thought that was you.
Here in Charlotte, North Carolina. No, I'm not in Charlotte. Right now I'm in Palm Coast, Florida, visiting one of my friends for 60 years. Mm-hmm. I've been knowing her.
I just wanted that confirmation. I thought that was
And who is this? And who is this? Is this King Ed?
Yes. I've been meaning to give you a call.
Great. I guessed it.
Yeah. I've been meaning to give you a call. We'll talk probably sometime this week. I'm going to give you a call or text.
All right. Thank you. Awesome. Love hearing. Thank you.
All right. Well, at this time, I'm going to open up the floor to any of our podcasters, staff up here on the Grown Folk Express Yourself Network. Announce your show if you feel so inclined. Let everybody know your date and your time so we all can come and show some love, support Ed's solidarity for your podcast. So take it away, podcasters. You got the floor. All right. Well, I guess no podcasters will be announcing tonight. So
I was waiting for Mahassan. Mahassan, you still there?
Yes, but I was doing something, but I'm free now. Thank you. This is Mama Mahassan, and I'm a podcaster here on Saturdays at 4. I've been MIA for the last 2 weeks or so, but I'm planning on picking up again this Saturday at 4. And the name of my show is Soul Liberators. So we just about liberating ourselves to be together with one another and realize too that we have to work on our souls and pull together in unity. And so I'm here on at 4:00 on Saturdays. It's a Grown Folk Radio. An honor to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Appreciate that very much. Anyone else?
Yes, I'm Edward, and I'm on Fridays at 8 p.m. And my podcast name is Thine Will Be Done, because we do have the power, just like what Marcus was just speaking to. Well, nobody outside you got to tell you to scratch your head or what color clothes to put on. So it is Thine Will Be Done every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank us.
All right. Anyone else before we wrap up and conclude? Anyone else? Any other podcasters? Once. Twice. Third time. All right. Drop that dime right there. All right, everybody. Well, let me give you the announcements. For tomorrow's Tuesday. It is Veterans Day official tomorrow. And join us at 7 a.m. right here on the network. 7 a.m., okay, with Miss Carol Lucille for our prayer call. Just call right back into the same number you called into tonight at 7 a.m. every day from Sunday to Saturday, okay? 7 days a week, same time, same place right here. Then at 6 p.m. tomorrow, you got Miss Jada and Miss Karen with, I'm sorry, hold on for a moment, everybody. One moment, please. Okay, I straightened that one out. Okay. Sorry, everybody, about that. Tomorrow, 6 p.m., tune in with Miss Jada and with Miss Karen for Grace Space right here on the Grown Folk Talking Network. Grace Space podcast tomorrow at 6 p.m. And then at 7:30 p.m., once again, we got Miss Carol Lucille. That's right, doing double time tomorrow on a Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. with the Pink Sofa. All right, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, tomorrow it is women only. Okay, usually on the second and the fourth Tuesday of the month, everybody is invited to join, but exclusively on the first and third Tuesdays of every month, it is exclusively for the ladies. Okay, so tomorrow's Pink Sofa, I believe, will be exclusively for the ladies tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. with Ms. Carol Lucille. Now, one more announcement.
Men and women tomorrow is
tomorrow
men
and women. Okay.
And
okay.
it's at 8 o'clock.
At 8 p.m. tomorrow. Okay. So let me correct that. Thank you very much for that information. That's what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. Thank you. All right. Right. So listen up, everybody. Tomorrow, the Pink Sofa Talk will be at 8 p.m., and it is men and women. So everybody's invited to come, talk it up, all right? Tomorrow with Miss Carol Lucille at 8 p.m., Pink Sofa Talk, right here on the network. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Hey, I don't know if Carol changed her time, but she is 7:30. Jada goes off at 7, and Carol comes on at 7:30, unless she recently changed her time.
No, just for tomorrow. It's a late date.
So we got a late start tomorrow. Oh, just for tomorrow. Okay. Okay, so just for tomorrow, but normally on Tuesdays, the Pink Sofa is at 7:30, but tomorrow is a late start at 8 p.m. And everybody is invited to attend, men and women. So come on out, come on, have a good time, Pink Sofa, and let some things blow your mind. I tell you, they got some good stuff there. All right? And last but not least, I want to let everybody know, this coming Friday, we got something special. We got something special, Xtra-Hype Connection. We have our very first Interdependent Holistic Healthy Option Summit. That's right. And guess what? We are going to start that show this Friday at 5:30 p.m. Okay? 5:30 in the evening, and we have 7 holistic practitioners or coaches or mentors, however you like to call them, that will be here and that will be dealing with health, from restoration to recalibration to your mental wellness, your emotional stability, dealing with bad or depressing news, how to bounce back, how that affects your health, and how to change all of that energy so that the nutrition, the herbs, the modalities, and everything else that everybody brings to the table for your physical well-being can definitely thrive in your environment when the inside and your mindset is now one looking at a healthier option than the normal one. Okay? So we're going to have a whole lot of fun. We're going to have 7 practitioners. Some of you know Leslie Wright already. She will be back tomorrow. She's bringing some of her friends. And guess who else we got coming on? We got some powerful pioneers representing. We got the lovely Miss Yvonne will be with us tomorrow. I'm not tomorrow, I'm sorry, will be with us Friday.
Right.
As well as some more powerful pioneers and some others that will have some things that will definitely leave some lasting memories and sounds in your ears, okay? And guess what? We're going to give everybody the opportunity to know who everybody is, their contact information, how to get in touch with them, and that's going to happen at the beginning of the podcast. And guess what? Edward from Nine Will Be Done will be co-hosting this event with us. So we'll be starting at 5:30. Plan to stay a little bit because we're going to be going into the 8 o'clock hour and maybe a little bit further than that. We're not going to keep you all night, but we're going to let you know what's going on, give you some insights, give you some good information, and give you ways in which to connect with the people that you believe will be able to do the best with regard to you and your care. All right? So that is this Friday. We're going to be sending out the invite link. We would ask you to, as best you can, if you can complete it, that's great. If not, somebody can help you. But if not, just come on in on Friday. But please share that link. Give it to 5 people. Tell them to share it to 5 or 10 and so on and so on. And let's get the word out there because this is something that has never, that I know of, been done before. All right? So, with that being said, everybody, I believe King David will be on this evening. Hopefully, for those of you who have tuned in for his show, he'll be on tonight at 8 p.m. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to my good and capable friend and co-host, Xtra-Hype Connection half, FloFokuz. You got the last word, and take us out of here, bro.
Wow. Listen, I just want to say thank you again so much to everybody who showed up, who shared their insights and their perspectives on tonight's subject and topic. And, at the end of the day, man, there are a lot of ways to, share our perspective. And once those perspectives are shared, they might snowball into political positions. So at the end of the day, I think the unity is what matters. Remember that everyone is, I don't know if they uh, still say it's 6 degrees, but we all have very few degrees of separation from one another. The world is so small, and in reality, there are no borders. So remember, guys, you guys, what'd you say, Marcus, there? You are not my enemy because remember, we love you
Love you.
and there's nothing you can do about it. So until next time, guys, take care, enjoy yourselves, and good night, everybody.
Good night,
Good
everybody.
night. Bye-bye.
Thank us.
Night. Have a great night rest. Thank us.
Thank us.